Can you remember what time it was when you got back to the farm?
Must have been about 6:30.
Tell the court what you saw.
Well, I could see straight away that the barn was on fire. Dad was running out of the house. And he said he could hear people inside the barn. He told me to ring 999.
Did he say anything about your mother being inside the barn?
No, he didn't know who it was.
So it was a surprise when Richie Carter came out of the barn?
Yeah. I got this horrible sick, sinking feeling straight away. I mean, if Richie was in there, where was my mum?
If you need to take a break, please do say so. We all understand how hard this is for you.
I'm fine. Thanks.
Then what happened?
Richie was coughing and choking. I could hardly understand a word he was saying. And he grabbed Dad, really rough, and he was shouting at him, "What have you done? What have you done?" But I promise you, Dad didn't have a clue what I was talking about. I'm sure of it. It was really weird. Stuff was happening, but none of it made any sense. It was like a really bad dream.
Then your father went into the barn?
Richie wanted to go, but he could hardly walk and he was all burnt and stuff. He'd never have made it. Dad told him not to be so stupid and he went instead.
Did he physically stop Richard Carter from going back into the barn?
Sort of. Dad grabbed him, but Richie just fell over anyway. He was just lying on the ground, choking. And then Dad went in. And well, the thing is, all this stuff was happening. And...
What is it, Robert?
I was so worried about Mum and Dad. I never did ring 999. Maybe if I had.
Nicola, I saw Mrs. Hope. She told me everything.
What about?
You know perfectly well. Well, come on, where is he?
He's in the kitchen with Victoria.
And everything was squeezed into, and squeezed into, and squeezed into one tiny little thingy. And it went kaboom! And that was the big bang.
Wow!
Have you any idea the trouble you've caused?
You remember, Nicola?
What have I done?
We've been searching for you everywhere. You're like the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Baroness Ortsey.
What?
Baroness Ortsey was the author of the original Scarlet Pimpernel. It was on a quiz show last week.
You two are made for each other.
Ed's just keeping us company before his interview.
So did you see our ad then?
What ad?
Actually, I just met Ed at the bus stop.
What? What?
Well, Emily, don't you get it?
What?
Bus stop. They ate my finger in the phone, but what number did it give you?
Omnibus Enterprises.
Freaky on what?
Fate, your finger in a phone book. What does that mean?
Robert, you told my learned friend, Mr. Hamilton Jones, that when you came into the farmyard, you saw your father coming out of the house.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think very carefully about that. You see, your father has already told the court that he came out of the house, saw the fire, heard voices inside the barn, and then you arrived, and he told you to dial 999.
Yeah, that's right.
Which one?
What?
When you came into the yard, did you actually see him coming out of the front door, or was he already at the barn?
I suppose he was already there. He looked like he'd just come out, though. A bit out of breath, you know.
But for all you know, he could have come out of the barn, or from one of the fields, or anywhere.
I suppose. I don't know.
What about your brother, Andrew?
No, he definitely came from the house. I saw him coming out the door, definitely.
Thank you, Robert. Now, this was about 6:30, yes? And you were coming back to the farm. Where had you been?
Kathy's.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, there must have been a reason. Was there a problem at home?
Not really. A bit, I suppose.
Had you had an argument?
Robert, we need you to speak up when you answer the question. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this argument.
Well, it was nothing, really. I wanted to go on a school trip, but Dad didn't have the money. So I asked Mum. And then Richie gave me the money. When Andy found out, he went totally ape. We had this fight on the bus.
And then what happened?
I went to stay at Kathy's.
Were you afraid to go home? Were you frightened of your brother?
No.
Did you think your dad will be cross with you for taking money from Mr. Carter?
Maybe.
But you stayed away from home for 2 nights because of this argument.
I suppose.
Were you afraid to come home because you thought your father might punish you, Robert?
My lord, is this really necessary?
I understand your line of questioning, Miss Browning. However, I am inclined to agree with Mr. Hamilton-Jones. Please move on.
But he's never touched me.
It's all right, Robert. You don't need to answer that question.
No, I'm serious. He's never hit me, honest.
Where are the essential materials, then?
You what?
Your husband extricated £500 from me earlier today. So I'm making a little judicious inspection to ensure that my money is not being frittered away on consumer goods for the Dingle household.
If you want to make good use of your money, Eric, you stop interrupting me all the time and let me get on with job.
Hey, I have every right to know where my money is going.
At this moment, it's probably in Zach Dingle's pocket at the trade suppliers down in Otten. Now, if you don't mind.
I'll be back.
They all think he's guilty. I know they do. It don't matter what I said, there's too much evidence.
Believe you me, I've been in court a few times myself, and you always come out feeling like you've been torn to pieces, but that's their job.
I don't care what happened to you. They're gonna find him guilty, I know they are. They're gonna send my dad to prison.
Andrew Sugden.
Good luck, Andy.
Victoria's giving Ed a guided tour of the farm.
So?
What?
Has he asked you out?
It's not like that.
Well, have you asked him out then?
Nicola.
You do want to go out with him?
I like him. Yes.
Are you going to take him home to meet the family?
No. You mustn't tell them either.
I was only saying.
I'm going to see Mrs. Hope later and ask her to be discreet.
Why?
When Butch died, I thought I'd lost everything. The man I loved had gone and I'd hardly seen me dad in I don't know how long. He didn't like Butch a lot, you see. Zach and Lisa gave me a home, a family. As far as they're concerned, I'm a Dingle, Mrs. Butch Dingle, and they thought I was seeing another man. I don't know what had happened.
They do want you to be happy, though.
They're very proud. Family means more to them than any people I know.
It's not like you're having an affair or anything.
You don't understand, Nicola.
You can't go on being a widow forever, Emily.
And I can't betray them. If there's one thing Zach despises, it's a traitor.
But you're not being a traitor.
I can't tell them. And you can't tell them either, Nicola. Promise me.
I promise by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth and the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Now, Andrew, you've just taken the oath. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you think it means.
I have to tell the truth.
We all know that this is a very difficult situation for you. So, all I want you to do is to answer the questions as clearly and as truthfully as you can. Now, just remember, you're not on trial here. You're simply here to help the jury to try to understand what really happened. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Mr. Hamilton-Jones.
Hello, Andrew. Shall I call you Andy?
If you like.
I'd like you to tell the court about what happened on the night of the 16th of November last year.
Sorry, I have to go.
You'll be late for your interview.
I've had a great time.
What's the job?
What?
Your interview, what's it for?
Oh, I'll tell you if I get it. It's not that I'm superstitious or out, it's just I can't prove to myself I'm not, if you get me meaning.
I do.
Have you got a phone number?
You know where I work.
Oh, you're not on the phone?
If you want to find me, I'm in the shop most days.
OK. People always take the mick out of me turning up for things early. But it's worked out all right today, hasn't it?
Good luck.
Bye.
Andy, you've told the court that you went into the living room and saw your dad fast asleep in his chair. Is that right?
Yeah.
Then you went up to your bedroom. About 10 minutes later, there was a bang, and that's when you ran outside.
Yeah.
Do you know what your dad was doing while you were upstairs?
Sleep.
Do you know that for a fact?
Yeah.
Oh, you were upstairs and he was downstairs. You can see what I'm saying, can't you?
I suppose.
You don't actually know what he did when you left the living room, do you?
I suppose.
When you went outside, he was already at the barn. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know how long he'd been out there?
He must have ran out when he heard the bang.
But you didn't see him do that, did you?
No.
You didn't, did you? So he could have been anywhere. Mr. Carter has told the court that he saw your father in the barn shortly before the fire started.
Yeah, but he's lying, isn't he? I'm telling you, Kate, Dad was asleep. I left him in the living room, I turned off the light, and he was spark out. Why don't you believe me?
I'm not questioning your honesty, Andy, but the fact is you don't know that he didn't wake up as soon as you left the room, do you? That's true, isn't it?
No, it isn't. He wasn't out there. Don't you understand anything?
What makes you so sure, Andy?
Because I'm telling you.
It's all right, Andy. There's no need to get upset. If there's something else you can tell us that will help to establish where your dad was, then we'd like to hear it.
Yeah, well, there is something I want to say.
Yes, Andy.
Oh, I've had enough of this.
Andrew?
I've had enough. I'm not answering all your questions.
Andy! Behave yourself.
Mr. Sugden, please.
This is all your fault, this.
Andy!
Just get off my back, the lot of you.
Do you really want your dad to go to prison, Andy? Because if you do, you are going the right way about it.
It's not going to help Dad if you go shouting off in court saying it's his fault.
Like you care. You're the one who thinks he did it.
Stop it, both of you, right now. There is no point rowing and blaming each other. If I've wound things up, I am sorry I was wrong. Now listen to me, Andy. The judge understands how upset you are, and he's prepared to forget about today, amazingly, considering he had to adjourn the whole proceedings because of you. Just go into that court tomorrow and answer those questions as best you can. Then you have to leave it to the lawyers and the jury. There is nothing else you can do, Andy, nothing.
You are so flaming thick. You don't understand anything. Why don't you go back to your Ponce little house and leave us alone? You don't want to look after us anyway, so why don't you snap off like you did before? Only this time, don't come back.
Come on, Andy, we were getting on fine this morning. I'm trying to help you, I really am.
Yeah, well, you're rubbish at it. No wonder you can't keep a boat long enough to have any of your own kids.
Go to your room.
No way.
Do as I say.
I'm going out.
Andy, will you come back?
Drop dead.
Well, I've seen a whole side of Jack Sugden that I've never seen before. I mean, those two boys seem so frightened of him. And Robert, he was obviously terrified of saying out against his dad. And as for young Andy, well, I don't think I should tell you what he said.
Well, come on, Betty, you've got to now.
Well, He pointed at Jack and he said, "It's all your fault."
What did he mean?
Thy sins shall find thee out.
It sounds more like a case of thy sons shall find thee out.
Wash your mouth out, Seth Armstrong. No, Jack Sugden is still innocent until he's proven guilty.
Just shut up. Shut up, the lot of you. Leave me alone.
I can't go in the witness box again. It's not that I'm scared her out, it's just... everything I said, it's a flipping disaster. If I keep going on lying, covering for myself, it's like I'm telling them that my dad's guilty.
Yeah, but he doesn't expect you to shop yourself, though, does he?
That weren't the plan. If they don't think I'm guilty, the jury will just think that he is.
Look, mate, it's not you that's sending your dad down. It's that little scumbag Richie Carter. He's the one that's trying to put the finger on your dad. And you know, and I know, he's lying.
What do I do?
Do now.
Now? Kane, I can't do now. I've got to do something. He's my dad. I owe it to him. Otherwise, what's it all been for, eh?
Listen, if he gets off, great. But if he goes down, then... well, we'll wait a few weeks. Middle of the night, do the window, up the stairs. I'll be right behind you. Richie won't even know what's hit him. Know what I mean?
I can't go on. I can't.
Will you put a sock in it?
I can't go on with this, Harry.
I thought I'd chuff it well know you've been chumming around to yourself for the best part of half an hour.
You weren't there! It's the boy. It's killing them.
Well, if you really want to put a stop to it...
Yeah, I do!
Well, you better think about changing your plea then, hadn't you? Jack? Yeah, I thought that'd shut you up.
I'm just off, Mum. Look, I'm sorry about earlier. Must have sounded like we weren't taking it seriously. How do you think it's going? I mean, really going?
You go on, Pet.
Mum.
Really, please. I'll be fine.
Oh my God!
Don't move.
Andy, what are you doing?
Thinking about smashing your face in.
Oh, this ain't happening.
Why are you doing it, Richie? Why are you trying to make my dad go in prison? You've took my mum. I've never had a mum before, and now you've took her. You've ruined our family. What more do you want?
Andy is a murderer. He started the fire, I saw him. Me and Sarah, we both did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Andy, I was there. Oh my God. Oh my God. You were there too, weren't you?
Yeah.
It was you.
Dad were asleep, like he said. So you are a lying scumbag.
No. We heard footsteps. Sarah pushed me down behind a hay bale. And she said it was Jack. And I could smell the petrol. I could smell the petrol, Andy. In my mind, I can see him seeing the petrol all over the hay. All jealous and angry. But I suppose we were hiding. So I couldn't have done.
What are you going to do?
You're a little animal! You murderer!
What are you doing?
You need to be locked up, Sugden.
You weren't supposed to be there. What were you doing?
You hate me. Did you hate your mum that much, Andy?
We're doing it for the insurance. To get things better again. And then you had to go and drag Sarah in there. And now you're telling the court that you were Jack. I'll have no one, Richie. Richie, all I ever wanted was a family.
Why don't you ring someone, Andy? Tell him the truth.
You just might. And everyone will know what a lying scumbag you are. And again, might not bother anymore. Do what you like.